Welcome back to Los Angeles Coliseum. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett as we bring you game 2 of this 96 Gold Cup. You see the two captains at midfield. Number 6, Colin Miller for Canada, and the referee Ronald Gutierrez. It is 23 degrees Celsius. That's low 70s. It's humid and there's just a slight breeze. As we take a look at the starting 11 now for Canada, and Bob Lenarduzzi makes one change.
Makes one personnel change, 2 positional changes. Forrest in goal, the back 4, Fraser, Fennick, Yallop and Miller. The midfield 4, Holness, Hooper, Unger and Radzinski comes into midfield. Up front, Bunbury and Carlo Corazin.
The starting 11, their Olympic team under 23. Dida is their goalkeeper, their coach Mario Zagallo.
And they're playing with a 3-4-3. Dida in goal, Maria, Narciso and Carlinhos, the back 3 in midfield. Conceição, Luis, Amaral and Adelson, and up front the 3 strikers, Caio, Savio and Jameli.
The officiating crew, the referee is Mr. Ronald Gutierrez. He is from Costa Rica. Near side linesman is Owen Powell of Jamaica. Eric Zeffrin from the Netherlands Antilles works the far sideline, and the 4th official is Peter Pendergast of Jamaica, who was the referee for Canada's opening game, a 3-1 win over Honduras. So Alec Bunbury gets the start up front with Carlo Corazin. Alec Bunbury, you'll remember, came in the second half of the opening game after facing all kinds of delays, getting from Portugal through a snowy New York to Los Angeles. The 1995 Canadian Player of the Year, Alec Bunbury, wearing number 9.
And Tom Kuzmanis, the odd man out, making way in midfield for Radzinski, who moves back there.
Mr. Gutierrez from Costa Rica getting some final instruction. It'll be interesting to see this Brazilian side. As you suggest, no Brazilian side, regardless of its age, under 23, should be taken lightly.
No, Canada cannot afford to take them lightly. As I said, they are seasoned professionals. They all play for professional clubs, and they have a great deal of experience. Of course, skill goes with putting on that yellow shirt.
And there is some skill by Alec Bunbury. The 28-year-old plays for Marítimo in Portugal. 7 goals this season. Voted the top foreign player in all of Portugal. However, he missed some 9 weeks of play between September and early December. He has 11 goals internationally for Canada, as there is delay in starting this game at the LA Coliseum. Canada, Graham, has never done very well in this competition. They failed miserably in 91, again in 93, and now after a 3-1 result, a spot in the semifinal really isn't that far away.
It's very much within the grasp.
We'll take a quick break as they sort out the balls. When we come back, we'll have the kickoff for you.
I grew up with 4 brothers, and I got a job to help the family. So every day I go out to work for 3 of my brothers. For the 4th, who is not here anymore, I go out to win.
International soccer returns to Edmonton this May when Canada takes on the best in CONCACAF in the fight to reach the Olympic Games. Be there when Canada starts its march to Atlanta. 6 top teams, 15 exciting games, fan-friendly ticket prices. Olympic qualifying soccer, May 10th to 19th in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Call Ticketmaster now and show the world your colors.
Welcome back to Los Angeles Coliseum. Game 2 of this 96 Gold Cup, as the referee, Ronald Gutierrez of Costa Rica, makes his way to the center spot, and we should be just about ready to get underway. There you see Carlo Corazin, who scored 1 goal against Honduras. Alec Bunbury will join him up front. Be interesting to see the way Canada approaches this game.
Get the first goal. He knows this is a young Brazilian side, and if he can get the first goal, he would feel that they may just get their heads down a little.
And right at midfield, it'll be Radzinski playing it forward for Corazin, and the young under-23 side of Brazil will pick up and get the first free kick. Luis. Arilson. Consecao gives it up to Lyndon Hooper, and now it's played wide. This is the captain, Colin Miller. And too far for Thomas Radzinski. 22-year-old Dida is the starting keeper for Brazil. As you said, he probably has, at 22, 7 years of experience in a very high caliber in Brazil. Radzinski through the middle. Hooper lays it square. This is Ian Fraser. Now to this right wing for Kevin Holness, who had the 2 goals against Honduras. Holness chips it into the middle over the head of Carlo Corazin, and now cleared by Zimaria. This is Radzinski. Hooper is on his left. He sides it through for Corazin, looking for the offside, and Dida comes out for Brazil.
And a little bump there by the skipper, Narciso, just put Carlo Corazin off balance. Not enough to draw the whistle, but enough to put the Canadian striker off balance.
Zemaria. Amaral tried to slide the ball through past Savio. This is Holness. Bunbury shields, turns at midfield, plays it back. And now it's KO. Arilson with Holness, and he'll leave it for Luis. Luis turns inside. Oh my, Luis! And just like that, it's 1-0 Brazil.
Good play by Andre Luis. He shrugs off the tackles from Carl Fletcher and just strokes it right inside the far post. 3 red shirts. Forrest screened. Bad start for Canada, but full marks to Andre Luis. Sneaks it just inside the post. 1-0 Brazil.
Very quickly, the Brazilians on the goal by Luis. The goal coming in the 3rd minute of play. Graham, it appears the Canadians have made a lineup change as well that we were unaware of. It looks like, and it is in fact, Carl Fletcher wearing number 23, playing at that central defender's spot in place of Paul Fennick.
Well, that's how they played in the second half against Honduras on Wednesday. We were told that Fennick would play, but obviously number 23, Carl Fletcher, in your screen now, is lining up alongside Frank Yallop.
And it appeared to be Fletcher who was caught by Luis. In fact, really the back 4 of Canada was left standing around, and Luis walked in all alone and tucked it just inside the far post. 1-0 Brazil after just 3 minutes. Corazin, Narciso over. Now Holness gets a leg in on Arilson. Oh, and quickly over, says Mr. Gutierrez.
Well, this tackle from behind is obviously going to bring the whistle as Holness goes in and catches Arielsen on the left ankle. He fell awkwardly. Bad tackle and a bad fall for number 10, Arielsen. And he obviously is regarded as the star player. The number 10 in Brazil is the prized number, the prized shirt to wear. But Arielsen seems to be okay. Young Kevin Holness, unfortunately, gets the yellow card for that tackle.
Quickly downfield, look at this. This is KO. The free kick put KO in behind the back four of Canada, and it is 2-0 Brazil.
And once again, there's no tackle. Fraser afraid to tackle. The ball slipped under Craig Forrest by KO. Nice little touch, great balance, great skill. Fraser a little too late to get the foot in. Same as the first goal, no tackle, plenty of red shirts, and the yellow shirt puts it in the net. 2-0 for Brazil. And if you thought they were a bunch of kids, thinks again.
And the second goal, 2 now in the first 6 minutes. Oh, the near side linesman Owen Powell of Jamaica giving the throw into Brazil after it appeared it was pushed out by the Brazilian defender. Fraser up. Now, how will the Canadians approach this? Trailing 2-0 after just 6 minutes. Fraser. Bunbury. Jeff Onger. Fraser nodding it up. Now volleyed forward, looking for Carlo Corazine. It will be a throw-in for Canada. He scored the second goal on a lovely through ball. Caio at 6 minutes. Ian Fraser will take this corner. Thomas Radzinski, and handled well by Dida, the Brazilian keeper. Luis. Narciso. Zemaria to midfield, and he'll give it away. Jeff Onger. Radzinski lays it off for the captain, Colin Miller. Carlo Corazine, and Carlo Corazine is brought down, and he'll earn the free kick for Canada. They barely worked up a sweat, the Canadians, and they're down by 2. Now, how does the game plan change?
Well, getting the first goal is out the window, that's for sure for Bobby. Now he's got to just make sure that they try and regain their composure, just chip away at this Brazil side and try and pull it back.
Radzinski goes up and over the defender. Ian Fraser will leave it for Thomas Radzinski. Looking for Bunbury. This is Corazine. Oh! He laid it back. Carlo Corazine laid it back for number 14, Jeff Onger, and Dida got there in time.
And you can hear the crowd in the Los Angeles Coliseum chanting Dida, Dida. Certainly maintain Brazil's 2-0 lead with a super save.
Radzinski's cross to the near post is volleyed away by Brazil. And then Colin Miller will give away the throw-in on the far side.
But that opportunity there showed that Canada can create chances against this Brazilian side. They just have to keep chipping away. They've got to be very careful, though, on breakaways. They don't leave one man on the front runner. One-on-one is deadly against Brazilians, no matter what the age.
Remember back to the games that Canada played against some of the World Cup teams prior to USA 94, and Bob Leonarduzzi suggested he didn't want his team to show these teams too much respect. And I'm wondering if to start this game, in the first 6 minutes,
they show them enough respect.
Yeah, they barely touched them, and they exploded for 2 goals. Brazil with the lead.
There's some magic when you pull on that yellow shirt. It makes under 23s become seasoned pros. The skill is inherent in Brazilians, and it's just a treat to watch.
Ian Fraser from the Sacramento Knights of the Continental Indoor Soccer League. Oh, another through ball, and
well
Craig
read.
Forrest in his 31st international for Canada out of Ipswich Town. Hooper is forced to retreat. And then Fraser upfield. Luis with the throw in for the captain Narciso. Conceição. Lovely ball for Amaral. Caio is in the middle. Savio makes a run. So does Arelson. This is Savio being followed by Fraser. Zemaria, and Fraser step for step with Savio, will head it into touch. Savio, and again another throw in for Brazil. Zemaria. Amaral. And cleared away by the Canadians. Bunbury to Hooper. Alec Bunbury now looking for a little support. Goes square into the middle, and well read by the Brazilian defender Gemelli. Savio. Gemelli makes a run. So does Arelson. And then not even close as it sails over the Canadian bar. Craig Forrest, the 28-year-old out of Ipswich Town. 1.40 goals against average internationally for Canada. 42 goals against in his 30 previous games. Oh, Lyndon Hooper trying to put a foot in, but Arelson brings it back for Brazil. Arelson for Caio. Luis. Narciso.
Brazil not at all afraid to go back into their own half just to keep possession. The way through was blocked by the red shirts, so they keep it and go back trying to draw the red shirts forward. But watch the movement off the ball.
Oh, look at the run by Savio as he just simply runs around Yallop. Zemaria. This is Caio. Oh, goodness, goodness. Savio, and it is 3-0 Brazil.
This is an absolutely brilliant cross. And just look at Savio power in and head it as Carl Fletcher can only stand and watch. Brilliant first-time cross. Great run, powerful header, 3-0 Brazil, and that's a treat to watch. Savio made his run perfectly. Powered the header past Forrest. 3-0, and really, Canada, apart from that one shot, have never been in the game.
The third Brazilian goal comes after just 14 minutes. 3-0, and that was spectacular. Narciso will start the Brazilians back again. Remember, the Brazilians are an invitee to this Gold Cup, looking for the offside, and these youngsters are fast. Savio with a leaping header to make it 3-0. Forrest downfield. Carlinhos shaking his head, and so it will be a free kick for Canada. And while Carlinhos shakes his head, it's Carlo Corazin that holds his.
Little push from behind as Carlo Corazin tries to chest that ball down. No question about the free kick. Little tap on the back of the head, and let's see if Colin Miller hits this one. Frank Yallop standing there.
Colin Miller, Radzinski over. Oh, it skipped by, it caught somebody on the wall, but Dida played it well.
Well, the big goalkeeper looks very good so far. Been called upon twice, and he's been equal to the task more than adequately both times. That was an awkward deflection, but he was well behind it with his body. Good hands.
We've played 17 minutes of this opening half at the Los Angeles Coliseum, and it's 3-0 Brazil. This game has the look and feel right now of the game that Canada played against Mexico in the '93 Gold Cup, and they lost that one 8-0. Not a good start against these Brazilians. Costa Rican referee has gotten involved pretty quickly. Conceição for Carlinhos. To the captain, Narciso. Narciso steps around. Lyndon Hooper gets the ball and a foot in. Once again, they'll start it through Carlinhos. Conceição looks upfield, goes to the far side. It is absolutely lovely. He found Savio, and he's pushed off the ball by Carl Fletcher. The crowd looking for, and the Brazilians looking for the obstruction foul. They don't get it from Mr. Gutierrez. That's Amaral. Zemaria. Amaral. Jamali. Narciso. This is Luis. Look at this. Still hooks it up and down the sideline, and Fletcher plays it back for Forrest. The flick forward doesn't work as Conceição plays it through the middle for Amaral to Caio Adelson, and over the head of Jameli, who had made the run for Brazil.
Nice little run by Jameli. Chip just a little too strong, and Craig Forrest read it well. But right now, Canada's back four, Fraser, Finnick, Yallop, and Miller, are looking a little torn and tattered. Who can blame them? What a start.
Alec Bunbury chests it down. This is Holness. gets away from the foot in of Savio. Radzinski, one-on-one with Zemaria, and then Zemaria, he'll give away the corner. 20 minutes have been played.
And this is where Randy Samia would have been useful. Paul Fennick would have been useful. Not all that much height in this Canadian team.
Radzinski, Dida follows it over. Fletcher gets up, cleared away by Consecao. Radzinski hooks it right back in, and Dida is there. Yallop for Hooper. Thomas Radzinski. Bunbury tried to hook it for Hooper, but it's Narciso who intercepts Kayao. Savio couldn't get away from the sliding tackle. Throw in for Brazil. You may have read and heard one of the things that FIFA is considering is widening and making the goals a little wider, a little higher. Something else that's been talked about is to force teams to go forward, is that once you bring it across midfield, you can't bring it back. And you wonder how that would affect a team like Brazil, a rule like that.
Well, I don't think a team like Brazil need bigger goals, that's for sure. And it really wouldn't affect them. They're only doing this because the law allows them to do it right now. If they change the law, Brazil could adapt to that. There's no question about that. They're keeping possession in their own half, trying to stretch Canada out. But if it weren't allowed, they would just do the same thing in Canada's half. The ball control is brilliant, and the movement off the ball is excellent. And they're confident right now with a 3-goal lead. Is as high as it can be.
Little bump from Carlo Corazin on Luis.
A foul against Luis. A little bit of obstruction there, preventing Corazin from getting his foot to the ball. This is a good time, Frank Yallop, to slow them down. Don't rush it. Take a deep breath and count to 10 and let's start again.
Yallop into the middle, and out comes Dida. And
Dida looks good.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He's tall,
perfect
flanky.
so far. He's got good height, good hands. Seems to read the game well, as most Brazilians do.
Oh, my goodness. Frank Yallop could hear the footsteps. Hooper side foots it ahead. No call there from Mr. Gutierrez. They can't get this ball to settle. Now it will for Jeff Onger. For Miller to Radzinski and back to the Canadian captain. Now to Frank Yallop out of Ipswich Town. Comes near side for Ian Fraser.
Ooh, that was over the ball. That was a bad foul by Adelson, who just let Fraser clear it and then just went right over the ball and stamped on him. Referee wasn't in a position to call it, unfortunately. You could hear Ian Fraser go, ow.
Narciso. Consecao.
The beauty about the Brazilian side is the ball carrier always has about 3 options. He's got about 3 players he can lay it off to. Whereas Canada right now are finding it tough to find one.
Mario Zagallo, the head coach of this Brazilian under-23 team, their Olympic team that will hopefully qualify. They have one more round of qualifying before Atlanta.
Adelson sent a beautiful ball through there, but Amarai didn't want to chase it. Number 10 looks really good. As I said, that number 10 is the prize possession for Brazilian players.
Well, it just goes to show you again how important movement off the ball is. We always focus on the person with the ball, but unless somebody's making space creating something, you've got nowhere to go. And the Brazilians do that wonderfully.
They do it beautifully because they all have the confidence to want the ball.
Radzinski to take this corner. Canada trailing 3-0. No danger. Yallop back and now plays it down this right sideline. Hooper is up, and the foul will be on Hooper. Consecao. Narciso. Narciso to the far side. Zemaria. Caio gives it away. This is Hooper now for Canada. For Jeff Onger. Fraser has a look near sideline. This is Carlo Corazine. Oh, lovely tackle as the captain Narciso came across to push it into touch. Radzinski.
Number 4, Narciso, the Brazilian captain, having quite the battle with Alex Bunbury. So far, Alex hasn't won a ball in the air.
Radzinski. This is Bunbury, can't control. Hooper turns, it still rattles around outside the area. Fletcher chips it forward. Bunbury immediately surrounded by the 3 Brazilian players. This is a very big and very fast Brazilian 23-year-old team. It's remarkable. Well played, though, there by Fraser, who dummied the pass back, and Caio bought it.
Rather uncharacteristic, that long clearance downfield, but there were only 2 defenders back, and Fraser did well to get to it first. You're right, this is a big-looking Brazilian side. It's also a very good-looking Brazilian side. One thing about Brazil, you always give them credit for their brilliant offense, but they've become very good at defending to get their midfield players back in a hurry now. They've learned the lesson over 3-4 World Cups, and they are very good at the back.
Caio in front as the Brazilians come looking for number 4.
Final touch from Amaral there, not as good as the previous ones. The ball should have been cut back. Instead of that, he played it straight into Craig Forrest's arms.
To midfield, Fraser for Canada.
And just count the yellow shirts back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 back already. Zé Maria loves to come forward, loves to overlap. And when he gets into that right-hand corner, we've seen he certainly knows how to cross it. Ooh, strong.
Good run here by Consecao. Miss-hit by Arolson.
And the crowd let him know that that was not a good effort. Good build-up, bad finish. This Brazilian crowd love their football. They appreciate the football and they know their football. They'll whistle for a bad move and applaud for the good ones. No question about that.
Radzinski cuts it in over the head of both Corazine and Alec Bunbury. Interesting, the Canadians have flipped their wingers. Holness has gone to the far side now on the left wing, and Radzinski has now come to this near side right wing for Canada.
I think simply because Zé Maria overlaps a lot more than does Narciso. So young Kevin Holness is a little better equipped to stop him coming forward on that right wing.
Corazzi. Carlinhos marking him, and it's cleared away by the Brazilians. Leading 3-0.
Oh, look out.
And look out indeed. Here comes Savio. Savio, the through ball for Caio. Oh, and Craig Forrest comes out. And how close was that to possibly being that dreaded red card for grabbing the player as he goes by?
No, he didn't grab the player. Craig Forrest got to the ball first, and Caio followed through. Brilliant goalkeeping by Forrest. Have a look here. This will show you that Craig Forrest gets to the ball and pushes the ball away. Caio left his leg in and tried to draw the penalty kick. Good decision by referee Ronald Gutierrez. But these Brazilians are so quick on the break. Brilliant ball laid square by Savio. Caio just accelerated into the space.
Caio simply ran away from Ian Fraser. Fletcher with Caio on his back. Boy, you've just got nowhere to turn. And isn't it interesting, if he tries to play it back, there's the yellow shirt of Savio in between him and where he might want to go. They just take all the angles away.
Their first touch is so good. The ball seldom bounces away from them. It's played slowly, played quickly, played waist high. Their first touch is absolutely brilliant, and it sets up the second and third touch. Very seldom does it bounce away from them. So important that that first touch kills the ball.
Look at this. Watch it and enjoy it. Zamaria for Caio, and Forrest will pick it up for Canada.
And that's a danger that Canada will get into, that they're impressed with the ball being pushed around. They tend to go be ball watching.
Narciso through midfield. Caio back. Arelson can't get away, and the Canadians forced to retreat again. Over the head of Jeff Onger as Conseca steps up. This is Jamali.
Offside.
And offside is Caio.
Caio just moved a little early as Jamali pushed it through.
3-0 Brazil. We're still in the first half in Los Angeles.
This sports break is brought to you by Good Humor Breyers, bringing excitement to ice cream.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our TSN newsroom. I'm Gino Retta. Well, is Wayne Gretzky about to become a member of the St. Louis Blues? I guess that all depends on who you ask. According to one report in a Toronto newspaper, it is virtually a done deal. However, I just spoke to LA Kings general manager Sam McMaster about 2 minutes ago. McMaster says these are all pure fiction. There is no deal in the works to trade Wayne Gretzky. According to Sam McMaster, the general manager of the LA Kings, the Kings are right now in meetings trying to negotiate a new contract to keep Wayne Gretzky in Los Angeles. Again, according to general manager Sam McMaster, the LA Kings are not interested in trading Wayne Gretzky. They are right now trying to negotiate a new deal. We'll continue to follow the story right here on TSN.
How far to go, William?
How far is far, Jacques?
Quoi?
Someday this will be the world's longest undefended border.
Undefended against what?
Well, people over there, let's call them Americans, will flock here on vacation, marvel at how clean everything is. And when they ask for a beer, they'll discover what incredibly good beer we'll brew.
Our true Canadian lager.
Exactly.
What will they give us in return?
Something called Baywatch.
Euro 96, super soccer in spectacular stadiums. It's taken 50 teams over 200 games and 2 years to qualify. Now, 16 countries will compete this summer in England to crown a European champion. Falcon Travels is the official travel agency for Euro 96. Departing June 14th, the package includes return airfare from any major Canadian city. 17 nights accommodation, daily English breakfast, and all ground transportation. Plus, 7 Euro 96 matches, including 3 first-round games, 2 quarterfinals, 1 semifinal, and of course the final at Wembley Stadium.
TSN's coast-to-coast curling coverage resumes in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island at the Unitel Mixed Canadian Curling Championship. Some of the world's sharpest shooters have made their mark at this event. Get ringside for live coverage of the semifinal and championship games Sunday. The Unitel Mixed Canadian Curling Championship, only on the home of rock and roll, TSN.
Goals at 3, 6, and 14 minutes. Luis, Caio, and Savio. And Brazil leading Canada 3-0 in Game 2 of this 96 Gold Cup from the Los Angeles Coliseum. Near sideline, Luis. Oh, he gets away from Radzinski. Luis cuts it. Oh, my goodness. Craig Forrest does well to keep it from being 4. But as we saw in the goal by Savio, anything that goes in front, whether it be at feet or in the air, is dangerous. Frazier with the throw in for Radzinski. Luis, it squirts to Radzinski, and another throw in for Canada.
One thing we're seeing this Brazilian side do that we're not accustomed to seeing is they pressure the ball carrier or the person receiving the ball really well. They niggle, they jab, they bump, and they tackle firmly. That's not a trait you used to expect from Brazil, but you can expect it now. They are tough.
Radzinski, it's flicked back to Flanger.
Wasn't quite sure whether to hit it with his right foot or his left foot. I think the left foot would have been better, but it's not Jeff's favorite.
But that's the second opportunity for Jeff Onger. The first forced Dida into a save. Far sideline. Hooper giving chase as Jamelli makes the run.
And Amaral had not come up to support.
Colin Miller throws it back for Forrest.
And these long balls upfield are not really having much success. The Brazilian defense just as good in the air as they are on the ground. Bunbury has yet to win a ball in the air, and of course Corazin and Radzinski aren't going to win too many.
Holness tried to slide it for Hooper, but it was Arolsen that intercepted. Oh my goodness, in full stride was Caio, and thankfully Frank Yallop got the foot in to stop him. Ooh. Bunbury sidesteps Marciso. Radzinski gets it across, and Dida is there for Brazil. Nosakau. Jamelli. Zemaria. Jamelli volleys it forward and a little too far for Amaral. To midfield. Getting up well was Corazin in between the two Brazilians. It skips away from Bunbury. Nosakau.
Brazil will work it out. They just refuse to knock these long balls downfield unless there's no alternative.
Jeff Onger, Fraser, the shirts can... Bob Leonarduzzi quickly off the bench. Fraser has a look, chips it forward. Bunbury trying to hook it.
And once again, number 4, Narciso, having a little kick. And this time, referee Ronald Gutierrez picking it up. He really is niggling when Bunbury collects the ball. Number 4 really clips at the ankle.
Fraser chips it through. Onger got his head to it and just by that far post.
Good try by Jeff Onger. Unfortunately, the angle was all wrong. Couldn't quite get it on target. But I must say, even if he gets it on target, it looks as if it'll be tough to beat this keeper. Boy, does he look good. Tall, elegant, confident.
Corazine. Carlinhos is there for Brazil.
Tough to know what's going through Bobby's mind. Down 3-0. What do you do now? Colin Miller can throw it right into the penalty spot. But you've got to win it in the air then. And a little push negates the pressure.
It's hard to believe when you think of Brazilian soccer, Brazilian football, and the championships, 4 World Cups, and countless other cups and titles. One thing they have never won is the Olympic gold medal, and this is what this team hopes to do.
Well, I tell you what, they're on the right track. This is how they look at 23. I'd love to see them at 27.
And won't they be allowed to add? I think it's upwards of 3 players from their full national side. Are they not allowed to do that?
I know that they've got 3 of the under-23 side that they didn't bring over. Juninho, for one, who plays for Middlesbrough. Carlos and Ronaldo, who plays for PSV. A brilliant players.
Jamali chips it, and it will go off of Frank Yallop. So there's still more depth to this Brazilian Olympic side than we've seen right here in a 3-0 lead.
Oh yeah, their star player is Juninho, playing in the Premier Division for Middlesbrough. Ronaldo, who's having a great season for PSV, and Carlos in Italy. Incredible young talent.
Savio, who has the 3rd goal, punched away by Forrest, and Holness will bring it up the far sideline for Canada. Corazine, Zemaria, Fonseca over to help out for Brazil. Oh, what a lovely bit of footwork to turn, and to Zemaria. Jameli, Arlson. This is Luis, who sidesteps Fraser.
I don't think Carl Fletcher wanted that ball. I don't think Frank Yallop wanted it back. Looks like Craig will have to get it.
Under the pressure of Savio. Colin Miller. For Hooper. Carlinhos is there to mark him. Miller. Corazine with Narciso. Fonseca.
And that's the first time we've seen the Brazilian defense show a little bit of immaturity.
If in doubt, get it out.
Well, that's always the safe standard, isn't it?
This is Bunbury. Won't turn. Into the middle and then nodded away by Arlson. Oh, the foot up by Kayao.
Well, Kaya's not going to get the free kick against him. It's going to go against Onger, and quite rightly so. Took his eye off the ball, just barged into Kayo.
Colin Miller at midfield, 3-0 Brazil. Zemaria. Jameli. And the push from behind by Colin Miller on Amaral. And the yellow card. So 2 bookings against Canada. Colin Miller becomes the second.
And young Kevin Holness was booked for coming in from behind. Anything coming in from behind these days is whistled down, and 50% then results in a yellow card. Good shielding by Amaral. Colin Miller had enough of it, said, I'm going to go right through you to get the ball. Unfortunately, it brought the free kick. Very frustrating when players shield the ball as well as Brazil do. If you're a defender, you're dying to get at that ball, and there's no way you can get past the behind of the yellow shirt. Or the blue pants, perhaps I should say.
Colin Miller out of Dunfermline in the Scottish first. Dunfermline going to make it up in the Premier.
Well, they've got a chance. Very tight in the Scottish First Division this year. There's about 5 clubs all in with a chance of going up.
Radzinski lays it back for Miller. Onger is square. He goes back into the middle for Radzinski. Corazine looking for some help. Moving up is Fraser. Fraser now chips it. Bunbury gets up. And no danger for Brazil or their keeper Dida. We're into injury time in this first half. 3-0 Brazil. Corazine. Oh, he was looking for a little help and then took his eye off the ball and it ran away from him. And the captain, Colin Miller, a little frustrated, I think, as the ball will run to him into injury time here in this first half. Bunbury for Hooper. Look to slide it through for Jeff Onger. And there's the whistle from Mr. Ronald Gutierrez to end this first half.
The first half that saw Brazil score 3 goals, as you can plainly see. And certainly this Brazilian so-called under-23 side, very good value for that 3-goal lead.
45 minutes complete. It's been all Brazil here in Game 2 for Canada at the Gold Cup in Los Angeles. Welcome back to TSN's coverage of this 1996 Gold Cup from the LA Coliseum. Ready to start this second half. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett. The referee, Mr. Ronald Gutierrez of Costa Rica, checks the watch. 3-0 Brazil. And as he checks the watch, we'll check the field closely to see if the Canadians have made any substitutions. They're allowed 3. Initial glance is that they have not. And Forrest out, and quickly going down, it appears to be Amaral.
And that was Amaral's own fault. I hate to be callous, but he followed through onto Craig Forrest and came out second best. Bit of an actor, so he went down like that in the first half and came up quickly once the referee gave him a little sympathy.
Graham, one substitution we get word of. Jeff Onger is out of the game as we watch Amaral go through and collide with Forrest. And into the game, wearing number 15 for Canada, is John Limniadis.
Same substitution that we saw in the second half against Honduras, midway through the second half when Jeff got a little knee injury. There's Amaral, all fit and ready to come back on again.
Fletcher to this near sideline for the captain, Colin Miller. Fraser looking for Bunbury, and then Bunbury is brought down. Tackle from the captain, Narciso.
Narciso is very good at coming in from behind and just clipping your ankle. That's about 5-6 times he's done it. He's been called twice. If you're going to get away with it, keep doing it. The skipper certainly has got a lot of experience for an under-23 player.
There's Libniadis to take this free kick, the 28-year-old out of the Montreal Impact of the APSL. Chips it. Dida loses control and then reaches out to grab it in front of Colin Miller. Luis. What a lovely ball to find Arlson. And then offside, near side linesman Owen Powell of Jamaica making the call. Frank Yallop will start the Canadians back. Fraser. Savio giving chase. What would you want the Canadians to do now to start this? You're down 3-0 second half.
Quite truthfully, I get no idea. This Brazilian side seems to have no weaknesses. It's not as if you can say, let's try and get past them on the right flank or the left flank. The fullbacks are brilliant. The centre-backs are winning everything in the air. The midfield players are pressuring Canada's midfield players, and their front runners are getting very little joy out of their back three. So right now, I have no idea what Bobby would try and do. I do know that Canada just has to get the next goal. That will be a lot easier said than done.
Another foot left in, and you possibly saw Bunbury go down for Canada.
But the first touch is the thing that is the difference between these sides, along with most of the other skills. Brazilian's first touch is absolutely brilliant. Canada's first touch has been letting them down all game. Well cut out by Craig Forrest.
It appeared that it was Luis that got through, and then standing at the far post, ready for any rebound, was Caio. Holness plays it back. Yallop has a look and comes in the near side for Colin Miller. Corazine. In for Bunbury.
Beautiful.
Played well by Cascao. Limniadis. Fletcher. Miller. At midfield, still early, second half, 3-0 Brazil. And Canada doing nothing that would show they're on their way back. Gemelli. Arlson. Hooper to mark him. Luis. Gemelli. Square for Arlson.
A little ambitious, perhaps, but it shows the confidence this young Brazilian side has. Number 10, Arlson, not afraid to chance his arm from way out. One thing you've got to admire about this Brazilian side is that they never get stretched out. They're always solid. The forwards come back and help in defense. The defenders come up and help in attack. Very, very seldom do you see gaps between the back and the front.
Caio turns near side. Zemaria. Lovely ball. Caio, who scored the second goal. Carlinhos, the captain. Narciso. Amaral sidesteps Radzinski. We've played 6 minutes of the second half. Gemelli, far post and headed away by Fraser. Zemaria. Bredzinski to mark him, Zemaria.
Zemaria looks like a winger. He's got the skills of a winger and plays like a winger. Loves to overlap. Reminds me a lot of the first team right back, Leonardo, who played in the World Cup and was unfortunate to get sent off against the US, now playing in Japan. Looks very much like him, plays very much like him.
Miller chips it forward, has Corazine. Bredzinski overlaps, Corazine goes back. Miller, wrong way, fellas. Forrest back to Miller and back to Forrest. And the Brazilians just take things away from you.
They pressure so well.
Amaral making the run. Zemaria back into the middle, back to Amaral. And he can't keep it in play. Throw in for Canada. Miller. Bunbury shields, lays it back. Quickly under pressure. Limniadis did well to control and play it back for Yallop. Miller. Waving his forwards downfield, and now he'll play it forward. It sneaks through to Bunbury, but he's offside.
He was offside when the ball was played. The fact that it came up, big number 5, Flavio Conceição, means nothing at all.
Savio.
And Lyndon Hooper getting a little frustrated as he too went through Savio to try and prevent him shielding the ball.
Bunbury tried to find Corazine. Oh my goodness.
That's the first touch we've seen Brazil miss.
Gemelli missed it. This Gold Cup, 9 teams. The Brazilians are the invitees, and it will be Zemaria who gets booked by Mr. Gutierrez of Costa Rica.
And Mr. Gutierrez is being consistent. No attempt to play the ball as Thomas Radzinski had gone past the fullback. So Zemaria gets the yellow card.
Zemaria, 22, plays for Portuguesa.
Good-looking player.
Down the sideline, 9 teams in 3 groups of 3. The 3 first-place teams will go through to the semifinals, as well as the best second-place team. And so this game, all important for Canada if they hope to qualify. They needed at least a tie, you would think. Having won their first game 3-1. Second place would probably come down to goals for or against. And with 3 against, the hopes of qualifying all but nil. Bunbury.
Having said that, you can't fancy Honduras' chances against Brazil in the final game in this group, can you? In fact, you can't fancy anybody's chances against Brazil. Mexico, perhaps, although we've not seen them, and the United States with the local support might give them a run, but this Brazilian side looks very strong. All round, it looks strong.
Savio down the near sideline. Couldn't keep it in play. Mexico opened with a 5-0 win over the Grenadines. Coming into the game, this is our first look at Niall Thompson out of the Montreal Impact. Niall Thompson is into the game for Canada. Kevin Holness is out. Laid back for Bunbury. Miller is there if he needs some help. He'll lay it back now for Yallop. Nicely done, Limniadis. Limniadis plays it square for Radzinski. Radzinski withstands Cacau's challenge, and it'll run and be a throw-in for Canada. Radzinski flicked, oh goodness, Bunbury. It looked like flicked it back towards the near post, and it nearly snuck by Dida. Niall Thompson, national team member since 1993. 1 goal in now his 7th appearance. Radzinski, Bunbury, Hooper, oh, played it back, and it was Gemelli there for Brazil. Given away, Bunbury. No foul for Mr. Gutierrez.
Good call. Alec looking for the foul instead of going after the loose ball.
Amaral through the middle, Gemelli. Oh, this is Savio, this is Amaral.
Offside, 2 of them offside. 1 on the wing, 1 in the middle. Amaral's the one they called. Caio in the middle wasn't influencing the play, but there were 2 yellow shirts in an offside position. Owen Powell from Jamaica being kept busy on this near touchline.
Colin Miller, Niall Thompson. And the throw-in will go to Brazil. Gemelli, Zimaria. Savio. Carlinhos, Luis, and intercepted by Fraser as they look to hit Arolsen through the middle. Limniadis. Controlled well, played back for Niall Thompson. Looking for Hooper. Offside, far side, Eric Zephyrin from the Netherlands Antilles. Game doesn't have the same pace either, with the Brazilians up by 3 as they did to start the first half. Thompson flicks it forward to Bunbury. And too far. Yallop playing it forward, looking for Carlo Corazin. We've played 15 minutes. Of this second half, it remains 3-0. Brazil ahead of Canada. To this near side for Zimaria. Shielded by Kyle. And now Kyle forced to chase for Brazil. Caio ahead to Amaral, and it was Colin Miller on his heels. Amaral, Kozakau, and downfield to Forrest. One of the few times we've seen no Brazilian in sight.
Well, one of the few times we've seen them try to hit a 50-yard ball. Obviously not the 40, but they really get back in a hurry and get goal side of the ball. Look at the yellow shirts back already. At least 7.
Limniadis skips it through, looking to That far post did it as well for Brazil. Bob Lenarduzzi. Missing 4 of his regulars. Paul Pescisolido from Stoke, Randy Samuel of Port Vale, Nick Dasovic, who plays in the French 3rd Division, and Mark Watson of the Vancouver 86ers. 4 members of the side who would be in the starting lineup of any Canadian national team. They handled Honduras 3-1, but have been under pressure right from the opening whistle against Brazil and trail 3-0. 3 goals within 14 minutes left this Canadian side shocked. Bunbury has Radzinski on his right, tried to slide it through the middle, comes back. Now it's Jalop for Fraser. Radzinski, Fraser, Limniadis is to his left. He'll chip it forward and over the head of Bunbury, who tried to hook it down and could not. Through the middle, look at the one-touch passing as the Brazilians work it out neatly. And then it was just a bad finish, Jameli on that far side. Jalop skips towards Thompson. Zamaria clears. Amaral. KO is KO'd as he goes down under tackle. No call from Gutierrez.
Good tackle by Colin Miller, much the same as Narciso has been doing to Alex Bunbury. Got the ball, just left his foot in a little bit.
Nice run by Amaral as he got around Frank Jalop.
But it's so tough to penetrate this Brazil defense. They get back goal side, they pick the men up, they pressure the ball carrier.
Limniadis has a look. Thompson makes the angled run. So does Corazine. Neither get there, and it'll run through to Dida.
Mario Zagallo must be delighted with the performance of his youngsters in this evening at the Los Angeles Coliseum. As I said in the halftime show, that first 45 minutes was as good as I've seen a team play for a long, long time. Especially a team that's supposed to be as inexperienced as this one. Oh, they showed us something, didn't they?
Zamaria, Amaral. Carlinhos. And he turned one way. The ball just unkindly ran away from him under a little bit of pressure from Lyndon Hooper.
There's never a little bit of pressure from Lyndon Hooper. There's always a lot of pressure from Lyndon Hooper.
His sister Charmaine, member of Canada's Women's World Cup team, she was voted the Women's Player of the Year. Jameli.
Jameli's the ball winner in midfield. He's the one who gets in for the tackles. He's the one who gets in for the 50-50 balls. Not so constructive as the other midfield players, more destructive, Jameli.
20 minutes gone, and number 20 is on the ball. Thompson for Miller. Limniadis and back. Boy, they close quickly. Miller barely has a chance to think, and somebody's there.
They fill the gaps. They take away the options from the ball carrier. They give him one option, and normally that's back.
Miller. This is Bunbury. Look at this. Radzinski! Thomas Radzinski! And Canada is on the board. It's 3-1.
Beautiful ball laid back by Lyndon Hooper to Thomas Radzinski, who walks past the defenders and cracks it just inside the far post as Dida stretches in vain. Beautiful finish by Thomas Radzinski. 3-1, and Canada's got that goal they were looking for. Brilliant skills. Number 13, Carlinhos, left in Radzinski's wake as he finds the bottom corner.
Thomas Radzinski scores in the 66th minute for Radzinski in this, his 6th international game for Canada. Scores his first. And of course, Radzinski out of Gemmelekeren in the Belgian First Division, where he has 8 goals this season. The former Canadian Soccer League All-Star Thomas Radzinski scores Canada's first. It's 3-1. And look at this, as if they want to turn it up. This is KO. '22-year-old Thomas Radzinski. Side-footed back, Radzinski forward. This is Hooper, and Carlinhos is there to defend for Brazil. Radzinski following up. Oh, lovely ball. Lovely ball. This is Niall Thompson. Square. Thompson. Oh, Thompson! Nearly snuck it in the near post, and a diving Dida got there in time.
And he needed all 6'3". Just got it by the fingertips as that ball took a vicious deflection. And the big keeper got across beautifully.
Oh, Hooper tried to hook it back and could not. Caio has a look. He plays it square. Amaral. Zimaria. Gemelli makes the run. That's where the ball goes. Gemelli back to Zimaria. Amaral through for Savio, and Gemelli cleared now to midfield. The Canadians seem to have picked up their game. It's played square. Following up is Yellow. Oh, and it's offside. Carlo Corazin.
Carlo Corazin saying big number 13, Carlinhos, was standing in the middle. Referee Ronald Gutierrez says no arguing. I blew the whistle. Offside, free kick Brazil. And as usual, they try and work it out from the back. Always seems to be a man available, with no red shirt within 10 yards. That's the strength of Brazil, finding space.
Oh, lovely Savio. And well done by Colin Miller to head it back to Craig Forrest so he could pick it up.
Really, Craig Forrest has had nothing to do in this half as Brazil have been cruising a little bit. Once you get into that cruise mode, it's pretty tough to raise your game again.
Once again, Bunbury beaten in the air by the Brazilian defender. Amaral. Niall Thompson. Oh, what a lovely tackle by Niall Thompson to reach around.
Oh, well played.
Savio. Square. Arlson. Forrest. "25 minutes have been played, and the Brazilians come close to getting number 4.
Just when I said Craig Forrest had little to do this half, he comes up with 2 big saves. Parried the first one from Arlson, then got in the way of the rebound.
That's
unlucky.
Corazin. Oh, Hooper nearly caught there, and it's hooked away just in time. Yallop. Fletcher turns and gets away from Caio. Bunbury. Look at this. Little Lyndon Hooper. Hooper. Conceição is there to defend and pushes it into touch.
Good tackle by the big number 5. Had to make sure that he got the ball coming in from behind. Take a little breath, Thomas.
Radzinski looking for Bunbury. Carlinhos a head taller, nods it away. Radzinski, look at this. Oh my goodness. 3 Canadians, just Dida the keeper, and he was the one that got there first.
No contest, I'm afraid. There could have been 5 Canadians there. The big tall goalkeeper reads the game well. comes off his line well, no contest.
Oh, off of the Canadian Niall Thompson. Throw in for Brazil. Zamaria. Jameli. Brought down by John Limniadis.
They love to get the free kick taken quickly. They'll play it short, they'll knock it square. Very seldom will they hit a long ball from a free kick. They like to build up, get people following up to support.
Oh, Kyle standing his ground. Lyndon Hooper, who had moved back to help out. Bunbury at midfield. Comes all the way across. Niall Thompson. Colin Miller makes the run down the left wing. Thompson cuts to the middle. Thompson. Niall Thompson trying to do it himself. And right idea, just too many moves.
What an elegant player, number 6, Andre Louise. He just dummied Lyndon Hooper there right out of his shoes. And the workhorse, Jameli, always available.
Amaral through the middle. This is Consecao. Zamaria. Thompson gets away from him. Jameli. Oh, trying to slide it up for Savio. Also, Kayao was making the run. It didn't get through. Zamaria. In the middle, Savio. Kayao. Cuts it across. Headed straight up in the air. Savio goes up. Hooked away by Fletcher. Arolson is there battling with Lyndon Hooper. Consecao. Amaral. Zamaria. Zamaria. Oh, Niall Thompson. You know something, the unfortunate thing is he looked like the Canadians had won the ball and he pushed him after.
Well, they had won the ball, but look, no question that was a free kick against Niall. Unfortunately, had he stayed back, there was going to be a free kick given against Zamaria, who was going to...
Oh, look at this, Kaya!
Oh, unlucky, tried to chip it over Craig Forrest. Just like Dita at the other end, Craig Forrest a little too tall for that move.
Play on, says Mr. Gutierrez. Amaral. Lyndon Hooper giving chase. Now it is Miller. Will get in the way. Throw in for Brazil. Played 30 minutes, second half. Canada's on the board. Thomas Brzezinski. It's 3-1 Brazil. Well read, well played, Craig Forrest.
Big number 4, Narciso doesn't take any prisoners, does he? Alex Bunbury's had a very, very tough evening against the skipper for the Brazilian side. And it looks as if we're going to get a substitute. Number 11, Savio, who's had an excellent game. Scored a brilliant header for goal number 3, comes off.
And number 20, Leonardo. Leandro is in wearing number 20. Nodded away. Niall Thompson. Oh, indeed.
Right on the edge of the box, he came out to cut down that angle. Great goalkeeping. Boy, does he look good.
Been in better position.
But the confident swagger has gone a little bit from the Brazilians. They're starting to chase now, instead of causing the red shirts to chase. That's a good sign for Bobby, although down 3-1, it still looks a pretty hopeless task.
Brazil is in control. 3-1 over Canada.
This sports break is brought to you by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our TSN newsroom. I'm Gino Retta. According to a report in a Toronto newspaper, the trade sending Wayne Gretzky to the St. Louis Blues is virtually a done deal. But according to Blues general manager Mike Keenan, that report is a little premature.
If the Los Angeles Kings are going to move Wayne Gretzky, if they're going to trade him, then we'd be very interested in talking with them and moving forward with this situation in mind. But until that time arrives, it's really a discussion that Wayne will have with the LA Kings apparently next week.
I spoke to Kings GM Sam McMaster about an hour ago. He said they won't even consider trade talks until they have failed to re-sign Wayne Gretzky themselves.
This is some portage, Julian. How far does the Great Prairie stretch?
Well, Jacques, all the way to the future site of the world's largest rodeo, Canada's Calgary Stampede, home of cowboys, bronco busting, and another perfect gathering place where Canadian beer drinkers can celebrate with that true Canadian lager.
And how far away is the Stampede?
Oh, another 200 years.
I grew up with 4 brothers. Then I got a job to help the family. So every day I go out to work for 3 of my brothers. For the 4th, who is not here anymore, I go out to win.
Welcome back to TSN's coverage of this 1996 Gold Cup from the Los Angeles Coliseum. Vic Rauter along with Graham Leggett. And the Canadians right now playing a man short as Carlo Corazine has gone to the sideline for treatment after being tackled by Narciso. And it's not the first time Narciso has clipped somebody, Graham.
He's very clever at it, and if he's getting away with it, then why not keep doing it? He tackled with 1 foot, then followed through and just hacked Corazine with the other foot. Referee didn't call it, so he'll keep doing it.
Leandro, the substitute, called for the offside. Colin Miller.
I don't think Canada's won a ball in the air when it gets to the danger area.
Flicked forward, and Corazine is back for Canada. Miller nods it up, looking for Bunbury. Certainly hasn't had a lot of success in the air.
Little nudge by Amaral. Spotted this time by referee Gutierrez. Good run by Niall, but
Thompson kept in play. Leandro shields it well to get away from Fletcher. Now Jamali making the run on the far side is Arelson. They have great vision, don't they? I mean, they see people making runs, and they're not afraid to go and find them.
The other guy's like, I'll buy one for you, right? Just throw it away.
Miller. Corazine does well to control, and Niadis follows up. This is Thompson. Thompson chips it. Bunbury over his head again. Can't get up against Luis. Still grimacing, still in pain. And on that right ankle that was clipped, Carlo Corazine. Played 35 minutes. Second half, 3-1 Brazil. Bunbury trying to get away from Luis and Kent. Amaral tried to side-foot it through, looking for Leandro. Following up now, Zamaria. Zamaria down this right wing. Zamaria. Thompson is over. Zamaria And it's Frank Yellop who gets to the near post to nod it away for Canada.
Great run once again by number 2, Zemaria, the right back. I'm not sure if Carlo Corazin is 100% right now. That was a nasty rap he took on the ankle, and not quite sure who Bobby could bring on if he has to bring Carlo off.
Carlo Corazin, who plays with Cambridge United of the English 3rd Division, has 11 goals this season.
Not too many strikers left on the bench for Bobby. In fact, I don't think there were any. So Ian Carter could do a job if they moved them up there. He could rumble them around.
Little clutch and grab and maybe a little frustration from Alec Bunbury. To midfield, Niall Thompson. Zemaria, Miller over to mark him. Look at this. Leandro trying to sneak through.
Didn't take Leandro long to get into the game, did it? They all want the ball. Every single player on this Brazilian side are so confident they want the ball all the time. Oops.
Oh no. Another booking, this time to Carl Fletcher.
And John Limniatis saying, look, play it both ways. If you're going to book Fletcher, have a look at Narciso when he goes in. No question that Fletcher followed through a little late, but certainly Leandro made a meal of it. In fact, it was the dive afterwards that brought the yellow card, not the tackle.
Amaral finds Zemaria. Zemaria, oh, it skips by. And Kyle couldn't control, but it was the attempted header through the middle that was missed.
I tell you, for a fullback, Zemaria crosses a beautiful ball, curves it just enough to take it away from the defenders.
Amaral. Harrelson. Harrelson just cheeky heels it straight back.
But Gemelli's always available. If anybody's stuck, and very seldom are they.
Well, that just floated. Somehow got caught in the air, and it floated over the head of Kyle. You can do it, so can Alec Bunbury, who heels it back. Fletcher under some pressure, hits it square. Colin Miller. Thompson. Miller. Fletcher is to his right. Frank Yellop. Thompson controls it well. Thompson to the far post for Bunbury and over his head. Oh, but it goes off Luis for a Canadian corner. Radzinski. Corazin. Hooper.
Well cut out by Flavio Conceição. Beautifully read.
Zemaria calling for it. Look at this. Leandro.
A mile offside. And I think he's going to get the yellow card. No question about that. Wasting time, rolling it past Craig Forrest. Leandro, the substitute, gets booked for ungentlemanly conduct, and quite rightly so.
Canadians looking for the foul call there as Leandro goes into the book. Radzinski goes down. No call from Mr. Gutierrez.
Pretty silly booking for Leandro. No need to roll the ball past Forrest, and if he gets booked in the semi-final, then he'll miss the final, because it's almost certain that this Brazilian side will do well in this competition.
Radzinski, Jalop, Arolsen was there. Now it's lay down the wing, looking for Limniadis. Interesting, where Hooper is dropped back, not Hooper, but Bunbury almost dropped back into midfield, looking to pick up the balls rather than being knocked to him, pick them up on the run.
Trying to find a little room. Narciso's been up his back all game. He's trying to see if he gets room to turn and go at people. Well played, Gemelli.
Leandro is on his left. He'll come to the right. Zimaria.
Now that was more like a fullback. Crosses the ball like a winger, shoots like a fullback. Good player, so I like him. Loves to come forward, wants the ball. I think his better choice would have been to aim for the far post. He was always going to hit this ball. He'd no intentions of trying to cross it. Number 7, Kaya, would have been offside anyway.
Fraser.
Well played.
Laid off. Oh, Radzinski. Oh, and it skips away unkindly from Bunbury, but Radzinski, you're right. Somebody just grabbed him as he went through and threw him off balance.
But that's the first ball that Canada's won in the box. Little notch there by Carl Fletcher. Play on.
About 2 minutes remaining. 3-1 Brazil. Gemelli.
There he goes again.
Look at Zimaria. Zimaria cuts it back. Leandro, and it's 4-1 Brazil.
Another brilliant run by number 2 right back Zimaria. Great vision as he rolls it square right into the path of Leandro. Easy tap in, but this is Zimaria's goal. All Leandro has to do is get in the way of it. Canada caught pushing forward as 3 Brazilian players break, and Amaral celebrates. 4-1. And it looked as if Brazil really turned up a gear there, switched into high gear, caught Canada moving forward, and the rest is history.
Leandro scores in the 88th minute, the 4th for Brazil. Thompson gives it away. Amaral, look at Leandro, and it just went behind him. Leandro is Kyle. Makes the run. Here comes Arolsen for Kyle. Forrest is out in the offside flag. Near side linesman Owen Powell from Jamaica.
You guys gotta go. Tunnel area.
Limniadis to midfield. Jalop. Limniadis. Jalop makes a run. Hooper is in the middle. Oh, he tried to use Hooper as the decoy and slide it through. Look at this big lumbering run now by Luis for Gemelli. Leandro is in the middle. Back for Narciso, and my forced here in the 45th minute. Craig Forrest at the near post.
That was a really good save by Craig Forrest. The ball was hit right along the ground. Awkward ball to handle. 2 Brazilian shirts waiting for the rebound, which didn't come. But it looks as if Brazil have had the breather and are back on form again. Just cruising now to the final whistle.
Injury time at the LA Coliseum. Oh, Gemelli onside. Yes. They're coming for more. Kyle, far post. Mr. Gutierrez checks his watch. Radzinski, Bunbury is in the middle, but it won't get through as Narciso clears for Brazil. Lindiadis for Yallop and back. One last chance. Dida's there for Brazil, and that's it. It was never in doubt.
Never in doubt from the 3rd minute, the brave performance, but Brazil in a different class as they cruise through 4-1.
Canada now will need some breaks if they hope to qualify for the semifinals at the Gold Cup in Los Angeles.
Euro 96, super soccer in spectacular stadiums. It's taken 50 teams over 200 games and 2 years to qualify. Now, 16 countries will compete this summer in England to crown a European champion. Falcon Travels is the official travel agency for Euro 96. Departing June 14th, the package includes return airfare from any major Canadian city, 17 nights accommodation, daily English breakfast, and all ground transportation. Plus, 7 Euro 96 matches, including 3 first-round games, 2 quarterfinals, 1 semifinal, and of course, the final at Wembley Stadium.
International soccer returns to Edmonton this May when Canada takes on the best in CONCACAF in the fight to reach the Olympic Games. Be there when Canada starts its march to Atlanta. 6 top teams, 15 exciting games, fan-friendly ticket prices. Olympic qualifying soccer, May 10th to 19th in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Call Ticketmaster now and show the world your colors.
Lots of country-style customers ask how they can make a great cup of coffee at home. First, travel all over the world to select a special blend of beans. Then, buy the finest brewing and grinding equipment you can find. Have your beans roasted in small batches every week. And fresh grind to the exact fineness for every pot. Of course, going to all that trouble for coffee isn't everyone's style. But fortunately for country-style coffee drinkers, it's our style. Just one taste.
Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Adidas, the brand with 3 stripes. Graham.
The Adidas play of the game comes 40 minutes into the first half. Brazil up 2-0. Fullback Simaria overlaps on the right. First time cross. Savio times his run beautifully to power it past Forrest. 3-0 Brazil. Perfect cross. Perfect header. What more can I say? Savio's goal, the Adidas play of the game.
1 win, 1 loss for Bob Lenarduzzi. This one, 4-1, a loss against Brazil in Game 2 of the Gold Cup in Los Angeles.
JVC will change your vision of what a camcorder can do for you.
I'm Bob Lenarduzzi, head coach of Canada's national soccer team. If you want the latest soccer news, you need the source. You need Canada's premier soccer magazine, Soccer Canada. All the news on Canada's national team. Plus, all the news, features, and stats from the world of soccer.
When Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat cake," did she mean McCain deep and delicious cake with a see-through dome that seals in the rich, moist flavor? So you can reseal it and put it back in the freezer until you just have to have another rich, moist piece. Try McCain Deep and Delicious Cake. With the resealable flavor-lock dome, you can let them eat cake again and again.
The Brazilian fans at the Los Angeles Coliseum celebrating an impressive 4-1 win by Brazil over Canada in Game 2 of the Gold Cup for the Canadians. Brazil, with the win, moving into first place in a group with Canada and Honduras. Our coverage continues on Thursday. The winner of Group B will play the winner of the C group that includes El Salvador, the U.S., Trinidad, Tobago. That's Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Today's game has been brought to you in part by Umbro, the official equipment and apparel sponsor of Canada's national team. By Air Canada, the official airline partner of Canadian soccer. And by JVC, official sponsor of Canadian soccer and World Cup France '98. Now on behalf of Graham Leggett and our entire crew, I'm Vic Roeder. Thanks for joining us. The Gold Cup is here on TSN.
This is TSN.